I am Dr. Kishore Chandiramani, Assistant Professor of Psychiatry at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi. It's my privilege to present this video talk cum interview with a renowned teacher of Vipassana, Dr. S.N. Goenka, on Vipassana meditation and mental health. The technique of Vipassana was rediscovered by Gautam the Buddha in India about 25 centuries ago and is being practiced even today under the guidance of Sri Goenka ji. There are in all 22 permanent centers across the globe where Vipassana courses are being conducted regularly throughout the year with the help of more than 150 assistant teachers trained and appointed by him. Tens of thousands of people from all walks of life, including various religious leaders, have received the training. We are fortunate to have Sri Goenka ji with us today. And sir, I would request you to kindly tell us about Vipassana.
Dr. Chandiramani, friends and social psychiatrists of the world, we are here today to discuss something about Vipassana, a technique which has the same goal as you all are having, the common goal of liberation from suffering. Vipassana is a very ancient technique of this country. Very laudable references are found in the most ancient literature, the Rig Veda, about Vipassana. But of course the practice was lost, and Gautama the Buddha rediscovered this technique 25 centuries back, got enlightened by this technique, and out of infinite compassion started distributing it to one and all. From teacher to pupil, from generation to generation, this technique kept on helping the country, the people of this country, for about 5 centuries. After that, the purity of the technique was lost, and therefore the efficacy was lost, and the technique got lost. It went to many neighboring countries. There also, due to one reason or the other, the technique got lost. But one neighboring country, Burma, maintained it in its pristine purity from teacher to pupil, from teacher to pupil, from generation to generation, till today. Although it was maintained by very few number of people, but still it was maintained, and that is why we are getting it in its pure form. Let us see what is Vipassana. The word Vipassana means observation. To observe the reality as it is, in its true nature, in its true characteristic, as it is, not as you would like it to be, but as it is. The reality pertaining to your own self. It is a process of self-realization, a process of truth realization, a process of exploring the truth pertaining to oneself, within oneself, by oneself. the truth pertaining to the entire physical structure, the corporeal structure, from the grossest reality to the subtlest reality of this corporeal structure. The exploration and realization of the truth pertaining to the mental structure, from the grossest reality to the subtlest reality. Mind and matter. And transcending the entire field of mind and matter, one experiences something which is beyond mind and matter, something which cannot be explained in words. One can understand its reality only by direct experience. One has to start exploring the truth at a very gross level, the gross level of mind, matter, the interaction of the two, how they are interrelated, how they keep on interacting, how they keep on influencing one, how one gets influenced by the other, and the whole process, without knowing which, one keeps on generating misery and one keeps on multiplying the misery the whole life. The process is not to satisfy the curiosity of somebody. The process is actually to come out of the misery, understanding how the misery arises, where it arises, and how it multiplies and keeps on multiplying. And that is possible only if one can explore the truth of the interaction of mind and matter deep within oneself at the subtlest level. A very delicate technique, requires a very serious job, serious practice. So one has to join a camp, a Vipassana center, because one requires a very congenial atmosphere for such a job with the least disturbance from outside. And every Vipassana center has an ideal atmosphere for this purpose. It is a serious course of 10 days, a residential course. One has to stay there day and night and get just the outline of the technique. Within 10 days, it is not expected that one will become master of the technique, but a beginning is made. And then one can keep on working on it oneself and proceed further. Joining a camp, one has to see that one should abstain from all unwholesome actions, such actions which disturb the peace and harmony of other beings. One should abstain from killing, from stealing, etc. This is because all these unwholesome actions have the root in the negativity of the mind. And this technique wants you to come out of the negativity. If you continue to produce negativity by performing vocal or physical actions which harm other beings, then certainly you can't purify your mind. So with this first requirement, which we call sila, morality, you try to concentrate your wandering mind. The object for concentration is universal, the same for all human beings. Your own breath, the natural breath, as it comes in, as it goes out. Just keep your attention at the entrance of the nostrils and keep on observing, that means keep on feeling the breath as it comes in, as it goes out. Don't make it a breathing exercise. Never try to regulate your breath. Natural breath, normal breath, as it comes in, as it goes out. The whole technique wants you to observe the nature, the law of nature as it is. The breath comes in and you are just aware it is coming in. The breath goes out, you are just aware it's going out. If it is deep, it is deep. If it is shallow, it is shallow. You don't try to change it. Don't interfere with the natural flow of the breath. Although the work seems very easy, you have to do nothing, just observe. Things are happening naturally. The breath is coming in naturally, it is going out naturally. You are keeping your attention at the entrance of the nostrils and just observing the breath coming in, the breath going out. Yet, because of the old habit pattern of the mind, it will not like to stay on one particular object. It will keep on running here, there, there. Practicing constantly, practicing patiently, persistently, in about 3 days' time you will find your mind is getting concentrated to some extent. To some extent, that means to an extent where you can switch over to Vipassana. The real Vipassana starts on the 4th day. The Shila, which was the base of morality, and the second concentration of mind, which in the ancient language of this country is called Samadhi, and now the field of Panya, the wisdom, insight. Vipassana is a process of mindfulness. You are alert. All the time you are alert. You are aware. Aware, alert, mindful, not about the outside objects. Aware, alert, mindful about the reality within yourself. As you keep on working, you will find that constantly some sensation or the other is there throughout the body. You start from the top of the head and move towards the tips of the toes. You find everywhere there is some sensation or the other. A gross sensation, a subtle sensation, a pleasant sensation, an unpleasant sensation. Now the old habit pattern of the mind was to react to these sensations. Whenever you feel pleasant sensation, you react with craving, clinging. You want it to remain. You want it to multiply. Whenever you come across unpleasant sensation, you react with aversion, with hatred. You want to get rid of it. Understand, a part of your mind is just observing. Observing all these reactions. Look, a pleasant sensation is a reason, and part of my mind is reacting with craving. Unpleasant sensation is a reason. Part of mind is reacting with aversion. Let me see. And you notice that however pleasant a sensation may be, it doesn't last forever. It passes away. However unpleasant sensation may be, it doesn't last forever. It passes away. Oh, this is a passing phenomenon. Things keep on arising and passing away, arising and passing away. And you train your mind to remain equanimous, balanced, mere observation, bare observation without any reaction. The whole technique will keep on changing the habit pattern of your mind. The habit pattern, which was nothing but a pattern of reaction, is now becoming a pattern of action, observation. The whole process of observing without reaction starts purifying your mind, taking out all the negativities like craving, aversion, hatred, ill will, fear. Every impurity that makes you so restless, that makes you so unhappy, they get eradicated little by little, little by little. The more and more the mind becomes equanimous, the purer and purer it becomes. Equanimity is purity. And a pure mind is full of love, infinite compassion. infinite sympathetic joy, infinite equanimity. These are the basic characteristics of a pure mind. When there is a negativity, when there is anger, hatred, ill will, animosity, passion, fear, egotism, there is a tension inside, and you start suffering from that tension. If these negativities are not there, mind is pure, equanimous mind, full of love, full of compassion, full of joy, full of equanimity, there is no suffering. A mind full of love, compassion, goodwill is not a suffering mind. And this is what Vipassana takes us to. Of course, it takes time. Moving your attention from head to feet, initially you come across very gross realities pertaining to the matter, very gross realities pertaining to the mind, and both these mind and matter manifest themselves as sensations on the body. Initially you get very solidified, intensified, gross sensations. Your guide will teach you, just observe, do nothing. Let it be there. See how long it lasts, and it passes away. It arises just to pass away. It arises to pass away. And you observe, your mind becomes purer and purer, subtler and subtler. It starts experiencing subtler realities pertaining to the mind, subtler realities pertaining to the matter. These very gross, solidified sensations turn into very subtle vibrations, very subtle vibrations. The entire corporeal structure, which at the apparent level looks so solid, is nothing but tiny atomic particles, and every atomic particle is nothing but a wavelet, arising, passing, so mere vibrations. The entire physical structure is nothing but vibrations. Similarly, the mental structure, at a very gross level, an emotion may arise, anger may arise, hatred may arise, passion may arise, and it is so intensified. But as you observe, it all turns into vibrations, mind or matter, the entire structure is mere vibration. A stage comes. For a good meditator of Vipassana, a stage comes when one feels the entire structure from the top of the head to the tips of the toes is nothing but vibrations of this frequency or that frequency, of this wavelength or that wavelength, but nothing other than vibration. A sound comes in contact with the ear sense door. The ear sense door is nothing but vibration. The sound that has come in contact is also nothing but vibration. Eye sense door, a shape, a form, a color has come in contact, vibration coming in contact with vibration. The nose sense door, a smell has come in contact, vibration. The tongue sense door, a taste has come in contact, vibration. The body sense door, something tangible has come in contact, vibration. The mind sense door, a thought, a memory, a emotion comes in contact, vibration. One realizes, first important segment of the mind. Understand, mind matters most. Body is very important because mind has the base in the body. Mind matters most. So now what happens to the mind? How it is working? Some outside object has come in contact with the sense door. One segment of the mind will raise its head and say, well, look, something is happening. Something is happening at this sense door. This segment of the mind, its function is to cognize. Immediately, second segment of the mind will raise its head. What is happening? Its function is to recognize. The sensation turns into pleasant or unpleasant when this second part of the mind recognizes it and also gives valuation. Oh, this is good. Oh, no, this is bad. The moment the second part says, this is good, the sensation becomes pleasant. The moment the second part of the mind says, this is bad, the sensation becomes unpleasant. So this third segment of the mind, its function is to feel the sensations, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, whatever they are. Then the fourth part of the mind, as I just said, its job is, its function is to react. Pleasant sensation and craving starts, clinging starts. Unpleasant sensation, aversion starts, hatred starts. All these six sense doors, some contact or the other is going on every moment throughout the life, and every moment at a very deep level of your mind, a reaction is taking place, craving, aversion, and you are ignorant of it. Craving, aversion, ignorance are the three ills which does not allow one to get liberated from misery. This technique helps you to come out of misery. Learn how to observe your respiration objectively. Learn how to observe your sensations objectively, and you will find the doors of liberation get opened. May all of you who have come to this conference today give a trial to this technique by joining a camp and help yourself, and also help those whom you are going to serve. May you all be happy. May you all be peaceful. May you all be liberated. Liberated. Liberated.
We are extremely grateful to you, sir, for an excellent exposition on Vipassana. Arising out of your exposition, there are certain points which need some clarification. Will you kindly agree to respond?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sir, what is unique about Vipassana as a meditation technique?
I won't like to use the word meditation, although this is common, people are using that way. But generally by meditation you mean a one-pointedness, concentration, one-pointed concentration. And Vipassana is not one-pointed concentration. When you are working with respiration at the entrance of the nostrils, then yes, but that is not Vipassana. When you start practicing Vipassana, it is observation. Observation of the reality of this moment which keeps on changing. You keep on changing, things keep on changing, and you just observe. So you don't call it meditation, you call it a technique of observation. When you talk of difference from others, then yes, all those techniques which help us just to concentrate the mind on one particular object, Vipassana differs from them. Because for Vipassana, things keep on changing, the objects keep on changing. Of course, within the framework of the body, but they keep on changing and you keep on observing as they change.
Sir, how is it different from other techniques where, say, words, mantras or visual images are used?
Well, the same thing, because all these objects like words, mantras, visualization of certain shape or form, they are helpful to concentrate your mind on that particular object. But then you won't know what is happening within yourself. You won't know these four functions of your mind. You won't know the interplay going on, the interaction going on, the cross currents going on inside. How the mind comes in contact with the body and how there is a feeling, sensation on the body, and because of the sensation again the mind reacts, and as the mind reacts there is more sensation on the body. All that phenomena will be lost when you get your mind concentrated to a particular object. It is good just for the sake of concentration, but Vipassana differs.
How does Vipassana help in coping with stress, and does it solve the unconscious conflicts?
Yes, it is for that purpose only. The conflict is conflict just because your mind is reacting. Something unwanted has happened and you become very agitated because you reacted. Something wanted has not happened and you become very agitated and you reacted. And when you react, there is a tension. When there is a tension, you suffer. Vipassana takes you out of that tension. You just observe. Unwanted thing has happened, all right. Unwanted has happened. Let me see how to get rid of it, and you do everything that you have to do, but then You keep your mind balanced in your day-to-day life. Anything has happened, you keep your mind balanced and you work. When you are working with this balanced mind, you come out of suffering, you come out of stress. So this is the best solution, I would say, for coming out of the day-to-day stress in the life, because it works at the root level of your mind.
But sir, if one is not reacting to life situation, is one really alive?
Yes, if one was inactive, then one was dead for all purposes. And Vipassana does not want you to become inactive. Vipassana wants you to come out of reaction, but not action. Your life will be full of action. Understand, whenever you are reacting, there is an element of negativity in it. And it makes you very miserable because of this negativity that comes along with the reaction. But when it is action, then it is positive. And action comes only when your mind at the deepest level is equanimous. A situation has happened, something has happened outside, and because of that there is a sensation on the body. You observe the sensation, you know what has happened outside, and you keep your mind balanced. Now whatever decision you make will be a healthy decision, wholesome decision, and whatever action you take will be healthy and wholesome. This is how Vipassana helps you to come out of all these miseries.
Does Vipassana bring about changes in the individual's level of consciousness? And if so, what are its benefits?
Certainly, as I explained, the whole technique of Vipassana is such that you start from the grossest consciousness and you go deeper, 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 deeper. So far as the matter is concerned, as I said, the gross reality of the matter, which looks like solidified matter, as you move further, deeper, deeper with this technique, you reach the stage, the entire structure is mere nothing but vibration, and you are conscious of those vibrations. It's not imagination, it's not a philosophy, it's not an intellectual game, it's not a devotional game. It is something which you have got direct experience of, and you are working on it. Your consciousness goes deeper, deeper, deeper. Similarly, at the mental level, there is a very intensified any impurity like passion or anger or hatred. You observe, with the sensation you observe, it turns into vibrations, you go, your consciousness is going deeper, deeper, deeper. It goes to the depth of your mind and your matter.
We hear that even non-Buddhists practice Vipassana. Doesn't it interfere with their religious tenets?
I don't know what you mean by non-Buddhist and Buddhist. Buddha never taught Vipassana to the Buddhists. He never made anybody a Buddhist. I can't understand why technique of Vipassana is hooked up with such isms. It is far away from all these isms, dogmas, cults, etc. When Newton discovered the law of gravity, what ism was there? What ism will you call it? When Einstein discovered the law of relativity, what ism was there? So if Buddha discovered this law of reality pertaining to the mind and matter, finding out the real cause, the deepest cause of your misery, and the way to come out of that misery, what ism is there? So it is applicable to one and all. And when you talk of religion, if by religion you mean such sectarian dogmas, philosophies, blind beliefs, rites, rituals, then Vipassana is far away from them. But the quintessence of all religions, if they are real religions, is altruism, helping others, be happy, make others happy. Then Vipassana is for that.
Is Vipassana then a meeting ground of science and religion, since you also call it the science of mind and matter? Please explain.
Yes, that's why, as I said, if the religion is purity of mind and wholesome action in life, then it is a meeting point, because Vipassana helps you to attain that religious stage where the mind is pure, saintly, and you can work in a way where you don't harm anybody, you help everybody. It is a pure science, there is no doubt about that. When you talk of dogmas and all, then they are far away from science. And Vipassana has nothing to do with these dogmas, these isms, these cults, these beliefs, these sectarian philosophies, nothing to do.
Are there techniques of Vipassana other than the one you teach? And if so, what's the difference?
Well, there are minor differences to start with. This technique, because it's coming from long time back, gives you a result so quick. You start with respiration at the entrance of the nostril, you start getting sensation here, you get sensation throughout the body. But there are techniques where people start working with the stomach arising, passing. Well, it helps to concentrate the mind. And then an itching starts somewhere and they are observing the itching, then a pain starts somewhere, they are observing the pain. Same technique is there, but still it takes a very long time. The ultimate goal is the same. There is no difference.
Why is no fee charged for your teaching? How then are the expenses met?
What fee can you give? For coming out of all your miseries of the life, what fees can you give? It is invaluable. The whole technique is so invaluable. The tradition will not allow it to commercialize it. The moment you commercialize it, it will lose its power, its efficacy. And to run this technique around the world, and when anybody gets benefited by it, if the mind gets purified and there is a feeling of love and compassion for others, naturally one feels like helping others. As I got benefit from this technique, may more and more people get benefit from it. May it spread to more and more people. One contributes willingly. If you charge fees, where that willingness is there? There is a forced fees you have to give because you are staying here for 10 days. What about your boarding? What about your lodging? This is not Vipassana.
One is advised to take a Vipassana course under the guidance of a teacher. Will it not foster dependence in the student?
Oh no, the whole technique makes you self-dependent. Never remain under the clutches of a guru. No gurudom is permitted in the whole technique. You need a guide for your first lesson. Otherwise you may take a wrong step and get involved in something where you may find more misery than coming out of misery. So a guide, whom you call a teacher if you want, nothing wrong, but that is only to give you the first guidance. And whenever there is a difficulty you can contact. But no teacher will liberate you. You have to work out your own salvation, your own emancipation. Self-dependence is so important in Vipassana.
Can people suffering from various mental disorders learn this technique? And do they need any special preparation?
Well, the technique is for people who are suffering mentally, because as I said, mind matters most. But then those who come with some kind of mental derangement, they should be able to understand what the guidance is being given. They should be able to work. If they are not at the level where they can understand the instructions given to them, where they can't work, then there is no magic, no miracle. One has to work. So those people who are mentally disturbed, depressed, or anyway disturbed, and they can understand what is being taught and they can work, certainly it helps. No prior preparation is necessary. But of course for mental cases we always say that better bring one assistant with you if need be, and a need might come, so better have an assistant. This assistant should have taken one course of 10 days earlier.
Does Vipassana heal the physical body also?
Well, all those physical ailments which are the root of the mind, the psychosomatic diseases, automatically get cured. If your mind is cured, if your mind is healthy, wholesome, then naturally those diseases which are related to an unhealthy mind will get eradicated.
Yeah. How do you recommend people use this technique in daily life?
It is for daily life. If you make it coming just to a 10-day course and learn this technique, and some all-powerful, mighty power will just help you to come out of your misery, nothing doing. You have to apply it in life. If you can't apply in life, then it will become again a rite or a ritual or religious ceremony. It won't help. It's pure science. Science of mind and matter, science of suffering, science of origin of suffering, science of eradicating of suffering. In your daily life, something has happened and you are very much disturbed. Now when you are disturbed, you give all importance to the object of disturbance outside. You forget what is happening inside. And Vipassana will teach you, although it is true that something has happened outside, somebody has insulted you, somebody has abused you, but look what is happening inside. What sort of sensation I am having? So much of heat, so much of perspiration, so much of throbbing. What it is? Observe, 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 observe. You are coming out of it. You are coming out of it. And your mind becomes balanced. Then you deal with the world the best way. And you are a better person by practice of Vipassana, living in the life of the world.
Meditation is traditionally considered as retreating from society. Can it help in solving the burning social problems like poverty, ignorance, ill health, crime, terrorism, drug addiction, communal and ethnic conflicts?
Vipassana is not an escape. No. You retreat for 10 days to gain strength. You go to your hospital to gain your health, but not to live in the hospital for the whole life. You gain the health, then use it health in your day-to-day life. Somebody has to make a long jump. One retreats and then runs and makes a jump. It will be a better jump. Similarly, somebody has to throw an arrow. One pulls the arrow backward and then leaves it, it goes far. Similarly, you retreat to gain strength, but to live in the life, you have to apply Vipassana in life, make use of it.
How can Vipassana help the healing and helping professionals in the pursuit of their vocation?
Oh, that is a very good question. Very good question. Those who are healing people, especially mentally distressed people, if they have not practiced Vipassana, if they have not experienced the game of these vibrations, then they won't know what they are doing. Dealing with a particular patient, say who is full of fear, insecurity, and the vibration that one generates, a healer or anybody, all of us have got seeds of those vibrations in us. And now that particular vibration comes in contact with the healer, and the deep-rooted fear vibration in him gets stimulated, and he vibrates those feelings himself, within himself. And although one does not know at the initial stage, but slowly, as you keep in contact with the mentally disturbed people, keep on healing them, you are becoming a mentally patient. So I recommend all those people who are doing the profession of helping others at the mental level should practice Vipassana, learn Vipassana. You serve somebody for about 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever it is, then retreat, 5 minutes or so. Clean out yourself. Again, deal with the next patient. This is the proper way. Otherwise, you will become a bundle of misery yourself. Trying to help others, you are harming yourself.
Has any scientific research been conducted on the beneficial effects of Vipassana?
Yes, there is an organization called Vipassana Research Institute, which is making researches on different social fields of the life and how Vipassana is helping in all those fields. Research is going on and very good results are coming.
Sir, can you please elaborate further on the role of Vipassana in dealing with current social problems?
Oh yes, this is a very important question. Vipassana certainly plays a very important role. It works with the individuals. The problem of society, the base of all the problems of society is the problem of individual. If the individual is healthy, the society is healthy. If the individual is unhealthy, the society is unhealthy, suffering, full of misery. Now, why terrorism takes place? Why these conflicts, sectarian conflicts take place? All those things have the base of the mind of the individual. So much of negativity. One is craving to get some power. One is craving to hit others. All those things are based inside an individual, and Vipassana helps the individual to come out of that. And when one comes out of that, more and more people start coming out of that. The society gets influenced by people who are free from this kind of negativity. Now, more and more people are working with this kind of negativity. The society suffers because of that. One has to work with the individual, but the effect is on the society as a whole. Another important thing is about this addiction. At a very apparent level, it looks one is addicted to alcohol or one is addicted to drug or something. But as you go deeper in Vipassana, with your own practice you will find that the addiction is actually not to that particular object, the alcohol or drug. The addiction is to the sensation that is generated because of the input of that particular object, the alcohol or the drug. Now, all kinds of sensations are observed by a Vipassana meditator, Vipassana practitioner, and when any kind of sensation that arises, he or she can look at it objectively without reacting to it, without craving for it, without having aversion towards it. This addiction easily goes away. We have found cases where a large number of people who were addicted to alcohol have easily come out of it. and quite a few of drugs also come out of it. So it is a solution, I should say, for all the ills of the society.
What is your message, sir, for the 13th World Congress of Social Psychiatry being organized at New Delhi?
Well, you all are here to serve the humanity, the suffering humanity, the suffering society. Excuse me to say, a lame person cannot help another lame person. A blind person cannot guide another blind person. I don't say that you are lame and you are blind, but then the strength that you need to deal with the problems of the society, the problems of the individual, you need much more strength than what you have now. Make use of this wonderful technique, gain strength, and with this technique, the more the purity of the mind you gain, the love and compassion that you generate, you will find the effect of your service to your patients is much higher, much higher. I would say, O healer, heal thyself and be happy.
Much of what the Buddha taught was already available in the Indian spiritual tradition. What was then his unique contribution?
Yes, the words of Buddha kept on penetrating the entire spiritual literature of our country. You can find words of Buddha everywhere, in every spiritual literature of the country. But mere words won't help. The technique got lost. If you just keep on reciting those words, it won't give you any benefit. You must learn how to apply those words in life. And that is possible only when the practical Vipassana is again introduced to the society. And this is what is being done now.
How does Vipassana help in improving interpersonal relationships between husband and wife, child and parent, and man and man?
You see, all these problems, interpersonal problems, the base is tremendous amount of attachment towards one's own ego, tremendous amount of attachment towards one's own likings, aspirations, dreams, and when they don't get fulfilled, then you start quarreling. This technique takes out all that, and you are a more balanced person. Something has not happened according to your liking, so what? You don't get agitated because of that. You do your best to get your thing done according to your wishes, but that doesn't mean that you disturb others, that you harm others, and this is how interpersonal relationship will become better and better.
Most therapies are culture specific and cannot be easily transported to another culture. We would like to know about the applicability of Vipassana in Western settings.
Well, this is the beauty of Vipassana, that no cult is involved in this. No cult, no culture. What's this? It's pure science of mind and matter. Like your yoga exercises, you do asanas, you do pranayam. What cult is involved there? You want to keep your body healthy. A Hindu can practice this, a Muslim can practice this, a Christian can practice this, an American, a Russian, everybody can practice and get benefit. Similarly, this is an exercise to make your mind healthy. You observe your respiration, what Hinduism about it, what Buddhism about it, what Christianity about it. You observe your sensation and maintain equanimity with that, what Hinduism, what Buddhism, what Christianity, what American, what Russian. It is universal. The breath is universal. The sensations are universal. And your blind reaction to them and becoming miserable because of this reaction is also universal. You come out of it by observing it, observing it, observing it. This is also universal. The melody is universal. So the remedy has to be universal. And Vipassana is a universal remedy.
How does one reconcile the two seemingly opposite principles mentioned in Buddhist literature, that is, the law of cause and effect and free will?
I don't know what the Buddhist literature say, but I know very well what Buddha said. In the words of Buddha, they are not contradictory, they are complementary. Things happen according to law of nature. You have sown a seed of anger. When you sow a seed of anger, you become miserable. Then and there you are getting the fruit. But then this habit pattern of sowing the seed of anger, multiplies, it turns into bigger misery for you. This is law of nature. You sow a seed of love, compassion, you feel so peaceful, so harmonious, so happy. You keep on planting this seed again, you change your habit pattern like this, and you get happiness, more and more happiness. When you are planting it, you feel happy, and when the result comes, bigger result comes, you are more happy. This is the law of nature, and this is 100% with you. There is no other power which is making you to generate or to sow the seed of unhappiness. If you are aware, you are conscious of what you are doing at this moment. Whatever you have done in the past is gone. Whatever you will do in the future, you will do only when the future becomes present. But this technique wants you to remain aware of the present, this moment. What you are doing at this moment. Are you sowing the seed of anger? Are you sowing the seed of love, compassion? If you are aware, if you are conscious, you are coming out of your habit pattern. And so it is complementary to the whole law of nature. You are working in line with the law of nature to help yourself.
Most Indian schools focus on the activation of the various chakras and kundalini along the spinal cord. How does Vipassana explain these phenomena?
Well, we are not here to compare and contrast different techniques. But one thing, very humbly, I would say that these people, whoever, are practicing the sensations on the so-called chakras or the sensations on the spinal cord, if they learn how to observe those sensations objectively without reacting to them, without getting elated, oh, I got wonderful kundalini now, then you are losing your balance. Without that losing balance, if you are just observing it, it becomes Vipassana. And you get all the benefit out of it.
Psychotherapy strives to enhance the sense of self, whereas Vipassana negates the self. In what way the latter is beneficial?
Not negates the self. It eradicates the false ego. It is just an imaginary ego that you have created yourself. I, this entire physical structure, I, entire mental structure, I, the combination of the two, I, which is not actually I. This is just a phenomenon, changing. If you come out of that mad I-ness and your mind becomes pure, then you will find that it is not a negation. You are making use of Vipassana to live a very healthy life, very harmonious life, very positive life. It doesn't harm in any way. It is to eradicate ego.
The focus of modern psychology is on the apparent behavior, emotions and thoughts, while Vipassana deals with the innermost subjective experiences. Are the two approaches contradictory or complementary?
They can become complementary. Now, when somebody is observing the phenomena of mind, the emotions, etc. that are arising, I would say that this is only a partial truth being observed. But along with that, if you observe the effect on the body also, what sensations are getting generated because of this particular emotion, and you observe both, you are with the totality of the reality. And when you are with the totality of the reality, it is easy for you to come out of your problem, solve your problem, come out of your misery. When you are dealing with only one part of it, then again, you don't go to the root of the problem. All the roots of your problem, your misery, even your happiness lies connected with the sensations in the body. So sensation of the body is so important. Mind is very important, no doubt. So when I meet physicians, I tell them, I'm sorry sir, but you don't forget the mind of the patient. Mind is very important. You are just working with the body of the patient. And when I meet people like you, psychiatrists, I don't hesitate to say, well sir, you must also take care of the body. Merely mind alone will not help. Mind and matter joined together is the totality of the man. Man matters most with the mind and matter phenomena being understood easily, clearly and fully.
Thank you very much, sir. I have been greatly benefited by this interview, and I am sure others also feel the same way. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks everybody.